Hello everybody, we are the Geeks and the Genets. I am Enzo, this is my forever co-host John, and today we continue our webhead lineup for this week, starting with Spider-Man 3. We finish up the Raimi trilogy, and yeah, before we get started on the plot or details, were you excited when you were a kid? 2007?
Yeah, no shit. I'm an 8-year-old who's a fan of Spider-Man. Of course, I was fucking excited for the shit. Like,
Yeah,
like, come on, dude. Uh, I remember watching this in theaters. It was around, I think we got the tickets. It was around like 9 p.m. So like the malls was closing down,
yeah.
and stuff. So it was a very vivid memory where after watching, I had to like, and I think I watched with a couple of our old like high school schoolmates because I
Okay.
was with my brother around that time. And I remember, you know, when like you go to a movie
Yeah.
and then the movie kind of changes your personality and like gives you clarity. I'm like, oh, I need to be this person. That was this movie. I was like, I need to be emo. I need to pull my hair down.
Um, I remember watching this back in the day as well in 2007. I was very excited because, of course, I've seen the other two Spider Man movies, and I was like, all right, another one. This time with Venom. Let's fucking go. And then,
Hmm.
obviously, as a kid, you don't really question a lot of things when you see it in the theater. You're just like, all right, that was cool. And as the years went on, I was like, it's not as cool as I remember it being. Fortunately, it's pretty average. Yes.
I rewatching it for this video. Not gonna lie, I kind of disagree.
As it's
'Cause
average?
yeah, I don't think it's average. I feel like it's not as great as the second one, but I say it's up in par with like the first one. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. It's still the same formula that I like. Sadly, if I remember correctly, uh there was a thing that like Sam Raimi didn't want this movie to turn out like this. It was more of like he wanted to focus on Harry Osborn and Sandman, and those were the two villains of this movie.
Yeah, well,
And
actually, he wanted it to be about Vulture. They casted Ben Kingsley as Vulture.
that would have been so good.
Yeah.
It's so
Um,
fitting.
and I think later down the line, I don't think he ever wanted Venom to be in this movie. So
No, he
I don't
didn't.
know if
He did not.
no, I have Venom in my shirt. Uh,
I just have a black sweater.
I mean, it's fitting for this movie, but yeah, like, there's nothing horrifically bad about this movie, in my opinion. There's just, again, after coming off the high of two, you're like, I kind of expect more. Um, and like, this movie is weird because Spider Man is supposed to be a dick when he puts on the black suit, but he's still a dick even before then. Like, he kisses Gwen in front of MJ, and you're like, I don't
Nah,
understand. You don't have the black suit. Why are you a
because
dick
it like
now?
he was riding on this high that like life's working out for him. Like, come on, man. Think about it. Like, he is Spider-Man. Everybody looks up to him now. He even has kids who like talks about him in front of his face,
Yeah.
and like that he's getting awards left, right, and center for being the hero of the city. And his girlfriend finally gets like her theatrical debut in theater,
Yeah.
and I don't know if that's the right words, but like, yeah, she gets her debut, and she's pretty. Everything's working out for her, for them. Sadly, his best friend kind of knows his secret and is like ready to like. It's pretty much plotting against him already. But I like.
That whole
I can't say he's a dick, but yes, don't kiss other girls in front of your girlfriend, especially if it is the special kiss that you did in the alleyway.
yeah. Um, Going back to New Goblin, like that whole plot was supposed to shut aside for the whole black suit storyline. Like I feel like, yeah, if there was a proper Spider-Man 3, it would be New Goblin and Sandman, and
Yeah,
then maybe that's why we don't get this whole amnesia storyline where like his whole story now is now wasted. We were
it is.
building up to this, and now it's
It
just
is.
gone.
Yeah, like it's so compelling too, because like, oh, this friend is after him after like a whole misunderstanding of two people not communicating properly. And he gets knocked out in their first fight. Not that I like this fight because like you see Peter Parker like scrambling
Yeah,
to like because he got like a ring from like Aunt May. You know, like,
yeah,
I'll propose to Mary Jane when you clearly can't afford it yet.
yeah,
I'm like, and like he every time he gets tackled, the ring flies out of his pocket and he's like trying to grab it. I
yeah,
love this entire scene. But yeah,
yeah.
Harry gets knocked out and gets amnesia.
Yeah, it's a
And
shame too, because his suit looks. He literally looks like the Flying Winter Soldier. You're like, fuck, that looks sick. I had a figure of
it
that, and
does.
it's one of my favorite ones. Sadly, I don't have it no more.
Yeah, not gonna lie though, I wish they stuck with like I don't mind the mask. Like that's kind of cool. It's very like mid 2000 style. I wish they give him a hood though.
Yeah,
Yeah, like just like a hoodie
yeah,
in like a green color or like a purple color. I like any variety, but he just looked like an assassin with a hoverboard.
yeah. Speaking of hoverboard, you can tell it's 2007 by the design of the hoverboard. You're like, yep.
Yeah, it looks like a Hot Wheel. Like,
Yeah. We were also introduced to Topher Grace as Eddie Brock slash Venom. To be fair, I really think in another universe this would have turned out fine if the storyline wasn't rose, because I don't mind Eddie Brock being this sleazy piece of shit worker kind of social climb over you. Or like, alright, that makes sense. Like, I don't mind that it's a different story from the Eddie Brock we know from the comics. This big bulging guy who also is a sleazy worker. But like, I don't mind the size difference. I just don't mind the fact that Venom here kind of looks like Carnage, not in terms of color,
yeah,
but like in terms of size. You're like that's he's Carnage
yeah.
size now.
Size and proportion. Like I wasn't a fan of that either. Like I get it. They were supposed to like, oh he kind of takes up Spider-Man's identity and like messes up his name.
Yeah,
And people are like, what is Spider-Man doing? He's being a bad guy now. But in my opinion, I wish like there was a scene where Venom just chooses to like power up and just gain a bit more height and more muscle.
yeah. So he
And
can
I'm
become
like, yeah, like,
he'll,
uh,
he can be the Venom we all know and love. Even Todd
yeah,
McFarlane, his creator, was like, "What the fuck is happening? Why is he
yeah.
like this?" Um,
And not gonna lie, his design for was like, nah, but I like the team. People
yeah,
say they don't like it, but like in my opinion, I liked it. And just imagine if he had like the proper like the
yeah,
eyes, and like he gets rid of like the webbing that kind of forms the suit of Spider-Man.
yeah,
Like if it just went with like the whole smooth, veiny, you know, look, like I feel like it would have been a good design
yeah.
with a mount.
Though I think the only good villain here that's properly done is Sandman. Like he really feels like he's in line with the rest of Raimi's villains up to this point, like with Green Goblin, Doc Ock especially. Like he feels like he should have been the follow up to Doc Ock, but he gets pushed aside. Even though he's very
Yeah.
empathetic, and you're like, I can't
And,
help but feel for this guy.
yeah, like there's nothing controlling him. He's just running from the line. He just doesn't have a choice. I
Yeah,
feel like he would have been such a compelling villain if we just got rid of like the Venom side story. It would have been nice to have a Venom story, but like that could have been a whole movie on its own.
yeah.
Um, but
Though,
of course, studios wanted because they're like, oh, it'll sell toys.
yeah.
Uh,
There's that one cop in New York who when they're trying to find him, one cop gets a shovel and is about to decapitate Sandman. I was like, thought you were supposed to, bringing him in alive, not in two pieces, one being the head, the other one being the body. Jesus Christ, man. What the fuck were you thinking?
I don't know, man. New York cops are different.
I guess so.
But
But,
from what I've seen through cinema. Um,
yeah.
but
Uh,
dude, yeah, I mean, we get this whole cinematic masterpiece when it came to like Sandman becoming the Bee. Like he gets into this particle accelerator, whatever, and gets fused with sand.
yeah.
And we get this scene of like him emerging, reaching out for his daughter's like, locket,
Yeah.
and like hand falling apart as he grabs for it. I was like, where did this come from, Oscar? Please.
Yeah, right.
Like that was great.
The effects alone, you're like, I am surprised this didn't win anything for visual effects. And he ties in well with Spider-Man because you find out that he is Uncle Ben's actual killer, and you're like, Where did this come from? All right, let's see how this pans out. Um, Going back to Peter, like, yeah, everything is going right until everything isn't, and like, his life starts falling apart. Like MJ is going through the works as well, and you're like, I guess we're done with this high for now. And that's when he puts on the black suit for the first time, and I do love that transformation sequence. Like the black suit, Sam Raimi's black suit looks fucking incredible. Even to now, you're like, holy fuck, that looks fucking sick.
And I know it's supposed to be like smooth,
Yeah,
like again, very Venom-esque, but I do love that it's just a dark, like a night version of the original suit,
yeah,
and I love it. Like even the eyes are yellow. And I was like, I like this, you know. Like I wanted a figure of this so fucking bad.
yeah. Unfortunately, I only have a Funko of the original Secret Wars version. I never got the Sam Raimi version.
It's alright.
But yeah, I do love his fight scene with Sandman. It really feels like it's a nice follow up to the whole train scene in Spider-Man 2. Not as good, but it's still very gritty. And apparently, I learned that Thomas Hayden Church broke his hand because he punched real brick because they forgot to replace the brick with fake brick.
Wait, wait. Oh my god.
Yeah,
What the fuck?
yeah. But it's a nice fight. It's very. Again, it just feels like it comes from both Spider-Man 1 and Spider-Man 2. It's like an exact copy of those.
Yeah, but I mean, like there's the point where like life is kind of falling apart for Peter. Like MJ kind of confesses that like, hey, I'm in love with another person, and Harry Osborn's like, hey, I'm that person she's in love with, and
The wink does.
oh right, no, the fucking pie eating. I'm like, okay, and then disappears from a bus, and I'm like, what was the point of this? Like, I get it, I get the scene,
Yeah,
and it's supposed to show that oh his powers are back, but
yeah.
it just makes me think that he just hid under the table as soon as that truck like came in.
Yeah, he's just like, he can't see me, right?
Ooh, I'm mysterious.
Uh,
But anyway, like, yeah. So like, Peter's life is kind of like going in shambles, and so he takes up this new persona of like being emo Peter. This is why we're wearing black, by the way.
yeah. Fitting.
Yeah, and yeah, when he goes against like Sandman, not gonna lie, it's very cathartic.
Yeah.
Like he's like mad, but you kind of wish it was a different villain, but he's just mad because like this is the guy who killed his uncle, and how he does it, I was like, ooh.
Yeah.
But, like not gonna lie, I like gritty Spider-Man.
Yeah, he's like good riddance and just go to on this whole emo hype train. We've seen the memes of him just dancing in front of people, and I'm like, I thought Black Suit Spider-Man's supposed to be a dick, not cringy, you know?
Yeah, yeah. The man's like a walking, talking HR nightmare.
Yeah, you're like, you know what? It's not what I wanted, but at the same time, it's quite funny to watch.
Yeah, it
nowadays.
is. Like just him going like this and like that, and like, not gonna lie, when I was a kid, I was like, is that the epitome of cool? Is that how we get the ladies? Like, I legit was like, do I have to be that confident but wear black? You know.
I mean, it was right
But when I
around,
find out, I was like, he's not emo, because emo people won't do this in public.
right? And like his look suits the time, which is 2007, the height of like Linkin Park and My Chemical Romance, and you're like, yep, I remember that face in my life.
Again, I feel ashamed that I cut my hair before we did this.
Yeah, my hair's too curly to do that. So yeah.
Yeah.
And then he also shows the Daily Bugle that Eddie Brock plagiarized other people's work, and poor Eddie Brock's fired. And
Yeah.
it's poor Eddie Brock
Well,
has no.
it's not just anybody else's work; it's his fucking work.
All right, yeah.
Yeah.
Eddie
Those are
Brock.
his photos doctored, and I was like, "Hey, yo, call up who's the software developer who ever made this?" Because I was like, "For sure, this is not Photoshop back in 2007.
Right,
Like, this is really fucking good."
poor guy. Peter Steele gets makes him lose his job, and he steals his girl Gwen. I forgot to mention this. She's played by Bryce Dallas Howard. I'm like, oh shit, I forgot you. I forget she's Gwen sometimes. Because of course we
Yeah.
have Emma Stone as Gwen and Haley Steinfeld
Well,
as Gwen.
I guess, yeah, I don't know what's up with the Haley Steinfeld. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Forgot about that. Yeah, I feel like studios do like to make a live action Gwen out of redheads.
Right? For some reason. Which is
Wait,
funny.
or is, if I remember correctly, isn't Emma Stone like a natural blondie?
No. Which is
No,
funny
she's
because
redhead.
yeah, which is funny because Kirsten Dunst is naturally blonde. She's a redhead.
That's the one. Yeah, I got that mixed.
Yeah, and then
Sorry, my bad.
it's reversed for Bryce Dallas Howard as well.
Hmm.
Uh,
Yeah, but anyway, moving on.
yeah, we have the total jazz sequence where he's trying to make MJ jealous, and you're like, please God, make this stop. I don't want this no more.
Dig on this. I was like, let's fucking go. Yeah, and I'm not gonna lie, his moves were. They were moves.
No, take on this.
Like it's. Take on this. And I was like, oof. Oof. Like, if this is Riz, I don't know. If this ain't Riz, I don't know what is.
I honestly don't know what it is. I even back then I was kind of like, this is kind of weird for Spider-Man to do. Oh well, let's just go with it.
Yeah, and like he does a backflip, and Gwen Stacy has the most appropriate reaction and just straight up apologizes to her.
It's like, I'm so sorry. I'm gonna go now.
I don't think it's even like, for sure, yeah, it was like, oh, there was something between you two. Like, what's going on? I'm sorry. And, but I like to think that it's more of like, this was very cringy. I apologize for my date's behavior.
And then he gets into a fight and then he hits MJ and you're like, oh no, what are we going to do?
Yeah.
I don't know if you ever played the Spider-Man 3 game where after the sequence, after he accidentally hit MJ, he also chased her down the street and then kidnap her, bring her back to her place and then swing to your place, and you're like, my god, Spider-Man's a full-on criminal now. Not only is he assaulting people, he's kidnapping them. Jesus Christ.
Menace.
Yeah.
Nah, I don't think I played that one. I heard it was good though, like the Spider-Man 3 game.
Yeah,
Like it was cool when you got, like everybody was wanting to get the
black suit.
the black suit.
Yeah. Speaking of black suit, the sequence where he tries to remove the symbiote suit, it's pretty sick. It's very visceral. It's very Sam Raimi. Even when poor Eddie Brock is like what the fuck is happening? It gets into his mouth and orifices, and you're like, oh fuck, that's nasty.
Yeah, he's like throwing, he's like gagging and everything. I was like, oh shit, that's very real. Okay. Like you know that like the Evil Dead kind of came out of Sam Raimi when making this scene.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, and you're like, for a guy who doesn't really like Venom, you're treating him very well. In that sense though, but like in everywhere else, you're like, again, you're like, why is Venom Carnage size? Why is Venom up this big beefy creature that we know and love? I really don't know. Oh, I forgot to mention that Spider-Man kills New Goblin, and you're like, how are you not dead? That's a fucking grenade in your face.
Yeah, they finally have their dispute, and Peter ended it appropriately. With the grenade.
And then
yeah, like it was straight up. It was like right here.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Oh shit," you know. And then he has a scar. I was like, "Bruh, you'd have been amputated. That's what you would have been."
Right, and then his Alfred mentioned something last minute of like, oh, by the way, forgot to mention all this time that your dad died by his own glider, and you're like, how long have you waited for this? You fucking idiot.
And well, I'm not gonna lie, after seeing Spider-Man No Way Home, that argument is invalid now because you see Peter like holding the glider and ready to stab the shit out of Green Goblin, and his logic is, oh, the wounds that was inflicted on your father was his own glider, so that means he killed himself. I was like, or there was an outside force carrying the glider and stabbed him.
Well, maybe. Who knows?
Yeah, because if I was Harry, I'd been like, oh, Spider-Man stabbed him with a glider. You know, I would still be on this like Delulu, like revenge craze.
Yeah. Though I would say the last act is pretty fun. It's fun to watch.
It is.
Spider. Yeah.
I do love the team up that Venom and Sandman has, where like Venom like strapped him down to the scaffolding, and
Yeah.
like Sandman like hits him with his fist.
Yeah. I don't understand how, with all his weight and power, how Sandman doesn't just instantly crush Spider-Man. You're like, Jesus Christ. I don't understand this. It's like being hit by I don't know, a larger MCU character, and you're just like, I guess I'll just take it. You're like, "Oh, okay. Yeah, it's just,
Yeah, I feel like Spider-Man should have lost that fight.
right. Hey, he gets hit more than once, and you're like, Jesus Christ, holy fuck. But it's a nice fight, and like, I do like. Do I like how they defeat Venom? It's fine, honestly. How Spider-Man's like, all right, this thing doesn't like loud noises, and I'll just kill it with that. And then Brock jumps in the way of the grenade too, because he's like, I still need this power, and they both die.
Yeah.
Not before
Oh.
Brock kills Harry.
Yeah, again with the same kind of concept I said a while ago, that could have disproven the entire. Anyway,
Yeah. I feel like if I was Harry, I would have been like, were you there though? How do you know? He died by his own hand. How do you know that?
like I need receipts.
Like, does the glider have a recording device? Can you show it to me, please?
Right?
It's been how long has it been since 2002? It's been 4 years. Or sorry,
6 years.
5 years. 5 years
Right.
since
Right,
that day.
2007.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And again, you wait this long to tell me something incredibly meaningful. I hate you. You're fired, by the way. But no.
The man's old. Leave him be.
And again, the last scene between Spider-Man and Sandman, it feels like it comes straight from Spider-Man 1 and 2, and you're like, oh man, my heart is kind of being ripped out right now.
Yeah, but we couldn't take his crying face all so seriously.
Yeah, we never do.
Okay. Okay, we just understood.
Yeah, and Sandman's like, it was an accident. Your old man told me to just go home, but my partner pushed me, and then my gun was already loaded, so I shot him by accident. And he's like, oh fuck, I'm a murderer now. Shit.
Yeah, but where's the receipts though? But anyway, yeah, and like he lets Sandman go. And
Yeah.
like, hey, have another second chance in life.
Yeah,
Don't do crime.
yeah. I guess he's fine after this, because no, he's still a criminal by the time we see him in No Way Home. So we're like, what's the point on all this?
Yeah, that's very true. But it wasn't that like the time period before they reconciled with Spider-Man?
Oh, I haven't seen No Way Home in a while then. Yeah, and then Harry dies in the arms of Peter and MJ, and you're like, oh, that's unfortunate. Oh well. Though again, it being James Franco, you're just like, oh well. No well. There's always gonna be a new Goblin. New Goblin in the future.
Yeah, yeah. And yeah, I would say this is not Spider-Man 2. Spider-Man 2 is in a whole nother level. And I feel like if you let Sam Raimi just cook with this one and no, you know, executive just like put in Venom, I feel like it would have been on par with Spider-Man 2, with like a very compelling villain, Peter being torn and like having this character growth. Sadly, we got like this very hot mess with like too many villains within a movie.
Yeah.
But I will say I still had a good time. Like, if this was the sequel to Spider-Man 1, I would have been okay with it. You know? If I didn't watch Spider-Man 2 and I saw this, I'd have been like, okay, this is very fitting with like, you know, how chaotic Spider-Man is when it came to Sam Raimi. Like, you know, I'd have been okay with it.
Okay. I guess we're at our ratings now. So what would you rate Spider-Man 3?
You know what? It's very near and dear to my heart, but it's not that there. It's not up there. You know, it ain't Spider-Man 2. And I consider Spider-Man 2 to be like a full-on masterpiece. I would say a 6.5.
Okay.
You know, out of 10. Yeah, you know, like it's above average. It's not bad, and in my opinion, it's still fun to watch. Like it's in theme with the rest of the other movies. So, excuse me, cut that part out.
Hmm.
Uh,
Uh, Go on.
oh yeah. And like everybody did their part very well. Yes, it's very comedic and very funny. And like, come on, it gave us wheeze. Like, you gotta thank Spider-Man 3 for this one.
Uh, it's contribution to society. Sure.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah. I'll also give this a 6. It's not great, obviously, but it's not terrible. It's just average for me. It's like I can watch this again and I wouldn't bat an eye. Like some of the performances are pretty good. Like Tobey Maguire still kills it as Spider-Man and Peter Parker. I do like Topher Grace as Venom to a point. I think I obviously there's still J.K. Simmons as Jameson, and he's still brilliant as that character, and Thomas Hayden Church as Sandman. And so I again, not terrible, not great either, but fun action sequences too, and the designs of the villains and the costumes are still on par with the previous two. So yeah, 6 out of 10. I think this is a pretty. You know what? Since this is the last chapter of the Raimi trilogy, I think it's a good close for what it is.
Mm.
Like you start well with Spider-Man 1, and then go really high with Spider-Man 2, and end on a soft bang with this one.
Yeah. Agree.
And I know there are rumors that Spider-Man 4 might happen someday. Same thing with Amazing Spider-Man 3. But
Alright.
we'll just have to wait and see. I know you said that Venom 3 might take place in Andrew Garfield's universe, so let's just see what happens
Yeah. If I remember correctly, somebody gave out rumor for Venom and Morpheus's universe is in Andrew Garfield's universe. It's just that they're in like San Francisco while he's in New York.
there. Okay. But yeah, if there's nothing to add, is there anything to add for this video for you?
Nah, I think we're good.
Yeah. That's been our video on Spider-Man 3. What do you guys think? Please comment down below. If you like our videos, please leave them a like, subscribe, and ding the bell icon to get notified of when we upload next. We're also on Spotify and TikTok. TikTok to see our best and funniest moments, and Spotify to hear us on the go. In the video, Zoda's voices on TikTok and Ends Wolf on Letterboxd. Where can they find you?
Or you can find me at JomGM_ on Instagram, and is my article.
And until the next time, we'll see you then. Bye, everybody.
Ciao.